Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today I want to show you just how I created new fly bases for my Zephyrim for Adepta Sororitas of Warhammer 40,000. Just so that you know that kind of option is out there, and maybe it might inspire you to create your own such customizations on your own models. I hope you enjoy. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you very much to the patrons and YouTube members that support this channel. Your help allows me to buy a new battery for this camcorder, allows me to buy the lapel mics that I use, 2 of them for battle reports. I really appreciate the support that you've been giving me. It allows me to continue this channel, and if there is anyone who would also like to support through Patreon or a one-time tip or as a YouTube member, feel free to check out the description below for how you can help. And I really thank you for taking the time to listen to this anyway. Let's get started. First things first, for this little project I used the Army Painter green stuff. I used green stuff in particular because I needed elasticity to the material I was working with, where I could stretch, bend, and prod it into shape. I just used half and half yellow to blue for this, but if you wanted to do this, just use whatever ratio you're comfortable with working with. And I don't mix it all at once. Getting those ribbons the way you want them to look will take some time, so only mix enough for 1 or 2 at a time. I also used paper clips as a skeleton for the green stuff. It allows me to mold the green stuff onto the sister and onto the base without having to do it separately and then trying to fit it in there after. I used a hobby drill with a drill bit size the same as the paperclip in thickness, which is 1/32 of an inch. So every backpack where the original fly base would attach has been drilled, and so has one side of each base. This will allow me to attach one end of the wire to the backpack and the other to the base, and then make whirly, swirly patterns in the wire so that it looks like the flowing of ribbons away from the sister. If you're using pre-done bases, then you'll want to fix the wire with green stuff only underneath the base where it's invisible, and only after you've painted it if the pre-done bases are fully painted. I fixed it both on top and on the bottom because I'm going to be covering this up, but if you're just going to fix it to the bottom, you just want to be careful with how much green stuff that you use because you don't really want any excess. Once I had the wire the way that I wanted it, after checking the angle with the sister multiple times, I rolled out a piece of green stuff using plenty of water so it didn't stick to the plastic table nor the plastic glue tube I happened to be using as a roller until I had it the thickness for a ribbon. The thinner you can make this, the more delicate it'll be, but the more like the ribbon it'll turn out. Now, before you have the ribbon ready, make sure you have let the wire attach to your backpack, either with super glue, green stuff, or both. Make sure it has dried and it is sturdily in place before doing the next part. I cut out a piece twice the width of what I planned for the ribbon to be, carefully place the ribbon underneath the wire so that the wire is centered all the way down. If you wanted it to be clean on the bottom, if you aren't hiding the bottom in your base decor, then just clip away the excess at this point. Remember to use plenty of water on your fingertips as you're doing this so that the green stuff never sticks to your fingers. And I mean plenty of water. You can absolutely get that green stuff drenched. Then I folded the ribbon in 2 all down the wire and used AK Interactive's medium-sized silicone brush, this cone-shaped one, to smooth, pull, and push the ribbon until it looked like a ribbon. You'll be surprised how simple it is to pull and push this green stuff around to make it look good. If it isn't simple, your green stuff is too hard at this point. For example, the one I'm filming here is just a touch too hard, if I'm to be honest with myself. I was interrupted a lot with various things while I was trying to do this and had to stop often, and that led my green stuff to stiffen a little too much on a couple of the girls before I could finish them. Make sure that you do this during an uninterrupted time. You'll likely need a half an hour or so for each ribbon, so make sure you give yourself that. Now, you can always tidy up the ribbon with more green stuff once the basic shape has dried, or plastic putty if you're just covering up a couple of unwanted creases. But if you are patient, you can make a lovely job of it in the one go with the one ribbon of green stuff. Just be careful not to be too aggressive or you'll let the wire show through, like I did on this particular one. I probably should have had a more calming background video than true crime documentaries, and I really should have done it during a time I knew I'd been uninterrupted, but silly me, I was impatient. But smooth ribbons requires a smooth mind, so do as I say, not as I do. But anyway, after you've had it to the point that you're satisfied, let it dry, fix up anything you don't like by smoothing on green stuff or plastic putty until it looks exactly as you want it to be, and then prime it. Priming can show you any errors you may have made or assure you that you're on the right track. You can easily apply plastic putty after you prime it and give it another little priming if you need to at this point, but you can put paint over plastic putty as well. Really handy. And then you can go ahead and paint them all. And by plastic putty, I do mean the Vallejo's plastic putty. These ladies aren't quite finished yet, as I still need to finish the banner, backpack details, and maybe some of the shadows to the metal, but I much prefer these to the regular plastic flying bases. No shame to anyone who uses the flying bases, though. That would have been much faster. I covered up the green stuff attached to their bases by adding on texture paint from Vallejo and temple bits and tufts from Gamer's Crafts that I cut down to fit onto their bases. I hope you like these, and I do enjoy using green stuff. I think it's a very handy tool, and as you get more accustomed to it, you will get absolutely better. I very much enjoyed using the AK Interactive silicone brushes. I do recommend their use for molding and smoothing. Very handy thing. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make certain to like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification if you want to know whenever I put out any videos, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye! In case you were curious, I added all of the temple bases to a stick that had double-sided tape attached to it, and that's how I primed them and dry brushed them with some of the Army Painter's new Fanatic war paints that I'm trying out. So yeah, that's how I did it. It's definitely the way to go for these little bits, I think. Okay, bye!